Hey folks, what's going on today? Hope you're all doing really good. I was just doing a little bit of harmonic noodling, as I like to call it. Today I'd like to talk about, how I learned how to play lead guitar and play single note stuff, and without any training or anything. I'm pretty much self-taught 100%. I've had, somebody showed me some chords and how to strum, and I pretty much took it from there. But anyway, I learned a major scale, I learned a pentatonic, that kind of thing. That was pretty much all I remember really learning, maybe out of a book, or maybe somebody showed it to me. But after that, I couldn't afford guitar strings, let alone lessons. So what I would do is, I still do this to this day. I would take a chord like this. Let's take E minor 7. So I'm barring the A string, everything down below it, in the 7th fret. I've got the D string in the 9th, and the B string is in the 8th. Okay? E minor 7. So I would take chords like this, and then I'd just start adding my pinky. I'd try to find all these notes around that shape. So I know that one works because I'm barring all these. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just arpeggiating these notes either. I'm mixing these up into different patterns, And it'll surprise you how much stuff you'll come up with just doing that alone. Pay attention to what that shape looks like when you're looking down at it. When you take your fingers off, try to visualize that shape, all those notes, okay? Then try to remember all these notes that you played with your pinky, and all the ones that sounded right with the chord, okay? Try to remember those when you take your hand off the strings and you're looking at it. That's really the key to it. And not that you have to look down all the time, but once you make that connection with your eyes and you can see that grip even after you take your hand off, that's going to help you out a ton. So what I would do was just that. I'd find these notes. I'd even find the wrong ones. Now that sounds major, not minor. Looking for minor. But you could use that as an approach note. I'm not saying it's wrong. Okay, so, once you do that, and there's going to be notes on this side of the chord as well that you can find. So, just stick to that first basic block first. Find all the stuff around here, then start branching out. But for now, that will help you out a ton. So if you are playing an E minor or E minor 7, and you're kind of lost, halfway through the solo, and it comes to that chord, you're home. You already know what you can do, Now, how did I know that I could bend that string and make it sound right? Well, because I did it with my pinky on that note, B string in the 10th fret. Now, when I'm playing E minor 7, I'm holding the B string in the 8th fret. So those two notes are going to work. Well, I know I can play this note, and a whole step away I have this note, so I know I can bend that note up to this note, and it's going to work. So now what you're doing is you're adding dynamics, okay? it doesn't sound like a scale or anything. It sounds more like a lick or a phrase or you know, something to that extent. So, you know, dynamics change. That changes everything. Bending the notes, sliding to them, all that stuff is what we call dynamics. It's something that you should never overlook, because that can really set you apart in a good way and make you sound more legit, authentic, and not sound like you're just playing nothing but scales, okay? It's fun to play fast scales, and they sound cool in some stuff, but, you know, if it's a nice slow tune, you know, those little things can really make it sweet. Just having that under your belt, knowing, you know, if I'm playing an E minor, I can always go here, and I know all these little things, you know, that I can do. You know, as it goes on, as you play for years and years, you learn hundreds of little things, thousands of them. Really, we forget most of them right after we learn them, a lot of us, but you know, that stuff, you gotta try to keep that together, and then start stitching some of these little ideas together. And you know, that's what really makes it comfortable to play lead guitar, when you don't have to think about it a lot, and you can just kind of hear it, and your fingers will just kind of scat for you. Then that's when it's the best. It's the ultimate rush for me to do something like that and not have to think about what I'm playing. All I got to do is hear it in my head, and it just comes out through my fingers. It's like whistling with your fingers in your head or something, okay? So, you know, I mess around with chord shapes a lot. You can do this with major sevens, you know, minor sevens. You can do it with sus chords. Just take these chords and start finding notes around them that work with it, you know? And it'll really surprise you the amount of things you'll come up with on your own. I guarantee you'll come up with something immediately if you start doing this. It's really hard not to. You're going to hear something that's cool that you may not have thought of voicing like that at first, and that usually will set you on a journey right there in itself. I don't know. That's really how I survive on guitar. I really don't. I mean, I can play modes and stuff. I probably couldn't. I can hear them and play them, not, you know, exact, but I know what a Dorian mode sounds like. It's just a sound. It's all it is. You know, that's what modes are. It's almost like moods. They should have called them that, because it's more like that. It's kind of a mood on a guitar that you're portraying, but I don't worry about that stuff too much. Just let your gut tell you what the song feels like, and you'll be surprised, like I said, what you'll come up with just by learning stuff around these blocks of chords that we play. All the notes are right there. Every note in that chord's going to work because it's the chord, right? So you just got to learn which notes surround it, and then start putting some of these together, okay? So I'm going to show you guys one more cool thing before we go. Okay, we're in E minor, so we kind of have to do this in E minor, but I was noodling the other day with harmonics. There you go. The power of noodling. So this is kind of cool, really. Okay, so E minor, I never thought of this in my life till, you know, the other day. I've been playing guitar for almost 48 years now. So anyways, what we got here, we're in E minor, right? So we have the open A. You know, we have harmonics here, right? You have them at the 5th, 7th, 12th, right? You can even cheat some down here, but so we have A string right over the 7th fret to the 12th fret on the D string. Then we're going to do the same thing with a D string on the 7th fret to the 12th fret on the G string. So you're just string hopping. A string, D string, D string, G string, G string, B string, B string, E string. There you have it. So and it spells out E minor. Wow. Here's another little variation on it, okay? We'll start on the B string this time, and we're going to descend instead of ascend. So we'll start on the B in the 7th and go to the E string in the 12th. So then we're going to go to the G string in the 7th, B string in the 12th, D string in the 7th, G string in the 12th. Okay, A string, 7, D string in the 12th. So it'll sound kind of like this. Kind of neat. And then, so there you go, folks, the power of noodling. Now that's something I come up with, you know, just sitting on the couch. Why I never put that together, that those worked, is beyond me. And I've been doing this a long time, folks, so there's always something to learn on a guitar. It's a really cool thing. You'll never master it, ever. You just can't. There's always stuff to be had on the guitar that hasn't been done yet, you know, or at least you haven't done it yet or heard it, you know. So I hope this lesson helps, folks, and good luck to you on your single note stuff if you're after that. Even if you're already an established, you know, lead guitar player, this stuff's still gold, and I think we forget about it and kind of overlook it, you know. That happens on guitar a lot. You'll get into these mindsets where it's, I need to learn scales, you know, I need to play it faster, I need to learn my modes, and man, that's a whole lot of not fun to me. Really, it's just, it's not for me. I just want to have fun playing guitar. I don't want to work too hard at it. I don't mind putting the effort in, but I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to feel like recreational fun, you know? And I think a lot of people fall into that trap where they get so, you know, intense about it, and it feels like work, and you feel like a failure because you can't play fast. And don't ever let that get you down. As long as you're playing guitar, you're doing the right thing, and as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, that's the best. No matter if you're doing it fast or slow or behind your head, it doesn't matter. Just have fun playing guitar. That's the main thing. And, you know, like I said, hopefully this will kind of simplify it for you, and you can just kind of noodle around with these different chord shapes. Try different things. Try working on one side of the chord and on the other side of the chord. And find the notes that are above it. Find the notes that are below it. And, you know, you don't have to really memorize all these patterns. You're going to be memorizing them by doing this, because it's hands-on, eyes-on. Once you know what those look like, again, it's very important to take a chord, take your hand off the guitar, and sit there and stare at that fretboard for a minute. Picture what your fingers look like when you hear that sound, okay? That's big. That's ear training. And it's a visual, too. You know, when I hear a sus chord like that, even when I don't have a guitar in my hand, I've done this so long that you know, when I hear that, a D chord or a G chord, I'm sure you guys do this too. If I'm listening to a song in the car going down the road and they play that, I'm already picturing that shape and what it looks like when I'm looking at my hand when I'm holding the guitar. It's not a front-on visual, it's this. I know what it looks like if I'm looking at a fretboard drawn out on paper, right? I know what that looks like, but it's more important to me what this looks like, because this is where I live when I'm playing guitar. I need to know what these shapes look like and what it feels like under my fingers and the sound that they make. That's really probably the greatest guitar lesson I think I never had. You know, and I just stumbled onto it on my own, and that's the truth. Well, thanks again for watching, folks. I hope this video helps you guys out. Best of luck to you in your guitar endeavors, and we'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.